Hey y'all, welcome back to a special edition of Hopped Up Beer Review. It is the 2023 Brewers Advent Calendar. Today we are drinking Marie Hausbrendel from the Familienbrauerei Schwarzbräu out of Süßmarshausen, Germany. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer we are drinking and reviewing. We are back for another beer out of the 2023 Brewers Advent Calendar. As we run through these this year, we are enjoying our German beer box here. I've got Andy in the attic. I've got Jay. I am Ben. Which of these lovely beers are we drinking today, gentlemen?
Marie Hausbrendel. That's from Schwarzbräu, the Familienbrauerei. I don't know. On Untappd, it just says Schwarzbräu. But in case you're traveling Germany, it's in Süßmarshausen.
Okay. Well, if you are enjoying your 2023 Brewers Advent Calendar, and we hope you are, thank you for stopping by and checking out our reviews here. And last year we went through day by day. This year we're deciding to just dump them all within a few days. So in case they're out of order in your box from what we have, you can watch them at your leisure. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
And this is one we had last year. So how can you forget the can art,
The can art, the name. It's a Helles. It's 4.8%, 18 IBUs. This one is going to be a very familiar review because I'm going to go over stuff that I went over last year, and then I'm going to throw in some more stuff I just happened to expound upon. Extras.
I want to know why you didn't find all of it last year. That's really what I want to know.
Okay. I cannot answer that for you.
All right.
So as we said last year, Marie Hausbrendel is the name of the beer, but it was named after the brewer's daughter, the original brewers of the Schwarzbräu. She was a child in the 1920s, and she served the beer to the guests at the brew house there. And her grandson named this beer for her later on. So we say 4.8%, 18 IBUs, and whatever that. So it's a crisp, clear Helles. So Schwarzbräu, this brewery, clearish, bright and light, as the term Helles refers to. It was originally called Zum grünen Baum, means to the green tree. And I had a little epiphany. I didn't think, after 2 years now of this Brewers Advent Calendar. So when I saw the original name of this brewery, Zum grünen Baum, Baum, means to the green tree. And I was thinking it's Christmas time, and the song Tannenbaum, Oh Christmas Tree. And then we had Tannenhill, fir tree. I was like, it's coming together. It's like, it makes sense. So makes sense. So anyway.
And you hang all these beer cans on the tree behind you, or you at least
I did last year. I didn't do this year. Yeah, you got to change it up a little bit. I switched. These were that way this year. I didn't have the sign. I didn't have colored lights. I mean,
just all out this year. Bravo
they
on the decorations
They
there.
can't, they got to think
Bravo.
something's different, because then they're like, oh, are we doing 2022 or 23?
I'm not wearing a hat this year.
You are not wearing a hat, but you do have your tree.
I have my tree and my believe sign. Yeah. So
Humbug.
Okay. So back to the brewery. So the original name was that. The symbol, which is not on this can, but it is on other cans, for the Schwarzbräu brewery, is of a flag bearer. This guy, this old school soldier waving a flag. So it was the flag bearer of a soldier in the Imperial Army that fought the Swedes in the 30 Years' War. We're back to the 30 Years' War, big part of German history. So after one of the battles, especially near the end of the war, in 1648, the Swedes stormed the brewery and drank it dry, essentially. And they actually commemorate that event by naming their Pilsner after it. They call it the Schweden Pils. Cool. So, I thought, and then there, a lot of these breweries go over, they put years and events in their history that go over. They were talking about in the late 1800s, and it's not mentioned with other breweries that we've gone over, especially in Germany, some of these older ones in Europe. But I thought it was just kind of interesting, as a means of developing new beer or being able to do certain styles of beer year round. But and this brewery in the late 1800s built a storage cellar under their courtyard. So it's like courtyard, so they just dug down and built into underground the storage cellar. And then there's a nearby pond in which they harvested ice to put down in the cellar to keep it cool, and so that lagers, bottom fermented beer, they need to be cool. So it's a cooler temperatures in which, so that then they could do it year round. They didn't have to wait till the colder months to do their lagers, so that they could have a storage cellar, bring in the ice, you could keep it cool so that you could produce your beer year round. So I thought that was pretty neat, because it has to be between, of course, they say degrees Celsius, 4 degrees Celsius and 9 degrees Celsius. So this is going to be another familiar part that we discussed. So we're talking World War II, 1945. The occupied, or the Allied troops occupied the brewery. But the family, evidently the family stayed, the brewer stayed on the premises. So it wasn't just they kicked them out and the Allied troops did it and they brought in their own brewers. No, they put in stationed soldiers there. Family went about brewing the beer. But they made them brew beer for the Allied armies. So it was a military brewery. So this is the one where we talked, they hid their malt, because it was highly valued asset. And they essentially, and I didn't go so much in detail about this. I said, oh, they walled it off. Well, I read a little deeper. They actually brewed the beer. They took the malt and they brewed it beer, and it brewed it as a dark beer, and they walled it into a deep storage cellar for an extended period of time. And so later on after the war, they sold it as a Schwedenbock. And today they call it a Schwedenbock, and they still brew it today as an aged bock. And they matured undisturbed in a quiet vaulted cellar for several years. So just like they did that one. So
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, be cool to try that.
Yeah, I'm very curious about it. So the Schwedenbock by the Schwarzbräu, and I mean Schwarz means dark, so the last thing I found out, and I don't think I mentioned this last year, they claim to be Germany's most award-winning brewery with about 700 awards, including worldwide awards, not just
the 684 that they got from the county festival.
Yeah.
As we've often talked about, the marketing in some of these things sometimes is a bit
I think
sketch.
they're including our certificate from last year, right?
Did they? Oh, they didn't make the Hall of Fame, did
They
they?
didn't.
I'm
They
just
didn't get a
kidding.
certificate from us.
We didn't get a Wall of Fame from 2022, did we?
We did not. So we may have one from 23. However, may have to go back and watch and see.
Maybe.
Yeah. So one thing I found really interesting in all that you mentioned, I mean, several things, but one in particular was about how, basically the Allied troops came in and kind of, almost seemed to let them stay on premise, I guess, mostly so they could brew them some beer. But, when you watch Band of Brothers, it's very common for the Allied troops to kick the German citizens out of their homes, in some situations. So
I knew it was coming, Andy.
yeah.
I mean, he's just asking for it.
It definitely, Andy, I definitely suggest that you go check that out when you have a chance in between researching beer for our show here. So
That's
all
funny.
right, we've all had this one, obviously, because we did review it last year. I have not checked my review from last year. Jay probably has checked it for all of us because he likes to do that kind of thing.
I'm almost out of beer.
Well, then why don't you go first?
I talked a bit.
Andy was chatty Cathy tonight, so
I was excited about learning new stuff about it.
I know it was great information. I really enjoyed that. I would love to try the Schwarzbach, I guess is what it is called. That would be fantastic.
No, Schwedenbach.
Yeah, Schwedenbach. That would be amazing if we could get one of those. Yeah, to me, this is the definition of a good German hell from the ones that I've had. I really like it. It's easy, 4.8. This is crushable, smooth, crisp, clean. This is an 8 all day long to me. I wish we could get beer like this as filler, or even just to have a nice, day out by the pool or on the river or on the lake, wherever. It's good.
All right, I'll jump in there and go next since Andy did his share of talking so far. I'll agree with you. My score was an 8 as well. That was right where I had it. For every reason, all the reasons you said. It's, I mean, I have a little bit left here, saving a little bit for our final cheers. But definitely light, clean, crushable. Again, I say this often about the Helles lagers, especially the ones we've tried out of here, that, they seem to be a step up from an American macro in the sense that they are that light, extremely light, clean beer, but with flavor that is, not the terrible crap corn syrup stuff we get in the US. So, this would be a keg beer if I could ever get a keg of it, which I know I won't, but it's definitely one that would be a great filler beer. Just an easy drinking Helles. So 8 all day.
I agree with both of you. It is very crisp, easy to drink, but it's got that good German feel to it. And it does not taste like a US macro light beer, even though it is a light beer. Yeah, I can't remember what I did last year, but I'm up there with an 8.0. It's German through and through, but just easy to drink. Yeah, it's a good beer.
Yeah, it's a great beer.
That is going to be an 8.0 for the Marie Hausbrendel. Incidentally, a little spoiler alert here. If you go back and watch our review from last year, we gave it the exact same score. All three of us gave it an 8, and that was without checking it out beforehand. It's a solid beer. It's one that I think we all enjoy. Obviously, have enjoyed here now for a couple of years. And it's one of those beers I think that we'd all agree, again, it'd be great if we could get this more often, but we can't, so we'll enjoy it as we can within the Brewers Advent calendar. If they come out next year, then we'll try it again. I suppose. With that, hopefully you are also enjoying a Marie Hausbrendel in your 2023 Brewers Advent calendar. If you are, down in the description or comments, let us know what you think about this beer. If you've made it this far, be sure to like, subscribe, and cheers that notification bell. We do the Brewers Advent calendar. This is now our second year to do it, but we do other beer throughout the year, and we would love to have you join us on those other videos as well. Check us out on all the social medias as well down below, and come say hey in our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. It's a chat room where we will be chatting about this Advent calendar all December long. We also have a link for merch. If you're interested, Jay is showing off some of the things that we have there on our merch page. Go get a stocking stuffer for your loved ones. Money back guarantee if they are not happy with it. You get it, you buy it, you got it. I don't think there's a return policy. But go check that out if that interests you in any way, shape, or form. For Andy in the attic and Jay, I am Ben. Thanks for watching this video and making it this far. Cheers, mates.
Cheers.